You're so cool. Like, that haircut really suits you.
Thank you. I've had the same comment from many people, and it's very nice.
Like, you're looking really, like, good. Like, not that you don't usually look good, but it really suits you.
It is quite intense to have literally every single person who knows you be like, this is much better, in a way that makes it clear that they thought that before it was not.
No.
Okay.
Don't read through the lines, George. Don't read through the lines. I always loved your hair. You know I love your hair. But this one actually changes how you look. It's just a really good haircut.
Thank you.
Don't go, before I was so ugly and people are clearly telling me that. No. It's a very good haircut.
I've had people I don't know come up to me and tell me it's a good haircut.
Yeah. Is it a new barber or something?
No, it's the same barber.
So what did you ask different?
Well, I asked for short hair.
Is that how you did? And he gave you the best haircut you've ever had?
I said 4 on the sides and then just enough on top to mess it up.
No, but I don't know.
Thank you.
Take a picture, make him do it again.
I will.
It's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you were not ugly before.
Good.
Have a good haircut.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much, George.
Two friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two friends just made a podcast. It's called Culture Bucket. Two friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two friends just made a podcast. Culture Bucket, George and Alex.
Okay, everyone, hi, and welcome back to Culture Bucket, the universe's greatest podcast. This is the 77th episode, coming at you hot and live. We're doing our top 5 Natalie Portman movies in honour of her starring role, her return to the MCU in Thor, Love and Thunder, in which she is playing for the first time the mighty Thor, which is very exciting. So yeah, we're going to celebrate that career by talking about some of the good films she's been in, and not so much some of the less good films she's been in, of which there were definitely some. A varied filmography for sure.
Very varied.
Yeah, that voice you just heard there is the return of your other host, Alex, and I'm George, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah. Hi, Alex.
Hi, George. Hi, everyone. How have you been, George? It's been a very long time.
It has been a very long time. I am fantastic, thank you. Very, very good.
Good.
Yes. What have you been up to in the 3 weeks that we've not spoken?
Oh, well, I finished school. I did a very intense summer camp for my little kids, which was fun. And as a present, they gave me COVID. So I then spent a week in bed.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I don't know. I think I prefer having the vaccination than having the actual COVID. Because at one point it's like, I don't want to do another vaccination. Because now in Italy we're talking about number 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're already talking about number 4. And I was just like, I don't want number 4. And no, I'd rather have number 4 than COVID. It's not fun.
No, it's horrible. I'm glad I've only had it once, because it was awful.
Yeah, but I've been so good. In fact, when I texted you, I was like, I've got COVID. You're like, how are you? I've been so careful, but there's like 35 degrees here and lots of children.
Yeah, it's quite. I've known quite a lot of people get it over the past couple of weeks in the UK, so it's definitely sort of. Yeah.
Also, it didn't help that we went on a field trip, and to a very bendy road, and a kid used my hands as a bucket to vomit. So I guess that didn't really help. I guess that didn't really help.
That's awful. That's definitely how you caught COVID.
Probably, but I've never I've been teaching for a very long time, and that has never happened to me. So a first.
Yeah, it's never happened to me, and it never will.
You don't work with little ones.
Yeah, but whatever was underneath your hands was more appropriate to have vomit on it than your hands.
I guess, but it was so quick. The girl looked at me and said, "I've got a tummy ache." So I said, "Turn around so nothing happens." And then she said, I think I'm going to vomit. And I had bags. But usually you have like at least 30 seconds between the word "I'm going to vomit" and the vomit.
Not always.
No, not always. Well, that was not the case. It was like, "I'm going to vomit." I think my thought process was I'd rather have it in my hands and go and wash my hands than having to wash this coach out.
Yeah, but surely it got on the coach as well. What did you do with it?
No. Perfect. Then we got a bag. We put it in the bag, and then
You put your hands in the bag.
Yeah. And then we stopped, and then I washed my hands, and then I got COVID. So, good the fun times.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe I shouldn't talk about these things.
No, don't.
We should put a warning.
Don't cut that out. That stays.
Bodily function warning.
Yeah.
If you don't like the word omit, then skip.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been exciting, but now it's summertime and time for some relaxing.
Yes, please.
And I'm going to see you in a month, so I'm very excited.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
First-
after 2 years.
Yeah, first time since we started doing this.
Yes, we have not seen each other in person.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Good
Yes.
summer.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
With the COVID also comes the dry throat.
Yeah, that's fair. Right. Well, today we're going to talk about some of the culture that we've done in the time that we've been apart, and we're gonna maybe have a bit of MyTube.
Yeah.
And then we're going to discuss why we're not really going to talk about homework today. Because we've both been naughty.
Yeah.
No individual blame. And then we're going to discuss some of our favourite Natalie Portman performances. What a wonderful afternoon it will be.
Oh, wonderful. Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
So I'm starting this
Yes,
week, yeah?
Yes. Let's do it. Culture Catch-Up,
good.
go. Tell me, what book about how bad men are have you read?
Huh? Sorry.
What book about how terrible men are have you read this week?
Is this a pattern?
Is it about incels or doctors or... And I'm being silly. I'm glad that you read those books because they're important.
Yeah, you should read them too.
I've read some of Men Who Hate Women.
Yeah.
It's a good book, but it is
amazing.
I keep falling asleep when I'm reading it, which is not unique to that book.
No,
it's
just the tiredness and the fact that book, there's so much information. And in a way, you don't want to read it because this world is crazy.
Yeah, and in the light of events in America recently, everyone on the planet should read that Unwell Women book that you read because... Absolutely,
100%.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's just a woman's choice and nobody else's. And that's my statement. Nobody else. It should be the choice of the person that is carrying the baby.
Absolutely.
And we're going back to a place where women are slowly getting their rights taken away and their rights to make choices about their bodies, which is ridiculous because there's no law that decides on a man's body in the way like abortion.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing.
Bad. Bad, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah. So, read Unwell Women. Inform yourself. Don't be a bigot. Abortion is not something that women do in a light-hearted way. So, let's stop this.
Anyway, have you watched any good cartoons recently?
I have not. Am I supposed to watch any interesting cartoons?
No, it was just meant to be a light-hearted.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about something very serious, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Well, I watched. So I've been quite sick, and so I have watched season 1 to 4, chapter 6 of Stranger Things.
Yes.
So, in my COVID stupor, I managed to watch like nearly all 4 seasons of Stranger Things. I was trying to watch and I was trying to watch them until the 7th episode before the 1st of July, so I wouldn't get anything spoiled, but they're getting longer and longer and I'm getting better, so it doesn't, like, watching 5 episodes at a time it's not really a thing that I should do anymore.
Fair.
I haven't got COVID anymore.
Fair.
But it's a great show.
Yes, it
It's
is.
amazing. I can't believe I haven't watched it before. Like, it's definitely my kind of show. It's got kids drama, slice of life, a little bit of scary but not too much.
Yeah.
It's getting scarier though. Like the older the kids are getting, gorier. Maybe the word is gorier.
There's some stuff at the end of season 4 that is made me cry in how horrifying and upsetting it was. So yeah.
Yeah, because in season 4, four?
Keep going.
In season 4, how the new kind of demon guy is Vecna is killing the people is really horrifying.
Yes.
Before it was just, poor Will in trapped somewhere, but now it's just like actual like body horror.
Yeah, there's eyeballs
crazy.
exploding, there's limbs cracking. It's
Yeah.
disturbing stuff, and yet even then I've still had conversations with like 11 and 12-year-olds about how much they love it. It's wild.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I can't believe my kids, which are primary school kids, love it so much. I texted you saying if I watched this in primary school, I would have pooped my pants.
I've done a bigger poop in your pants.
I would have bigger poop in my pants. The biggest poop in my pants.
So you're Italian. You're allowed to do it.
I'm allowed to do the accent. Yeah, but it's great, and we've decided we're gonna do a special on it, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but finding those 4-5 child actors and having Winona Ryder and who plays Hopper?
David Harbour, Mr. Lily Allen.
Yeah, Mr. Lily Allen, and finding these like people and starting this amazing journey and having and seeing the kids grow so much, especially in a week's, I watched this 2 weeks and seeing the kids from being tiny to like being teenagers and having so much success is just such a great show. I think it's so well done. There's only 1 episode which I didn't think was rubbish until now, but we'll talk about it later.
We will. So we're gonna do over the summer, by the way, everyone, we're gonna do fortnightly episodes rather than weekly because times are pretty busy. So in 2 weeks you can rejoin us for our retrospective of parts 1 to 3 of Stranger Things, and then 2 weeks after that we will give you our review of Stranger Things 4. But just for a little taste, very quickly, best character?
Steve Harrington.
Okay, worst character?
Of like recurring in all seasons?
Yeah, from like
or like
starting with 11 and going down to as regular as Lucas's sister.
Oh. I don't know. I really love everyone.
Interesting.
Like, I really didn't like Billy. Because he was creepy. I don't like the new jock guy that wants to kill everybody in the name of God.
Yeah, you're meant to hate him. He's awful.
But like, who I don't like, I can't say.
Interesting. Wow.
Because I think all the characters have their ups and downs, and they have moments where you don't really agree with them, and moments that they're really cool. But, you know, if I had to go with my favorite character, which I didn't think was going to be my favorite character, but now it has become my favorite character, is the babysitter, Steve Harrington.
Steve Harrington. Yeah, he's
How about you?
Steve Harrington's my favourite character. Mike Wheeler is the worst.
Why? I don't know why you hate Mike Wheeler
He just
so much.
sucks. I hate him. He's terrible.
I think he's so cute.
Or that blonde girl that bullies Eleven at the start of season 4.
Oh, I hate that girl. Like I would have done what 11 has done.
Yeah, definitely. When she was being told off for it, I was like, no, absolutely do that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Good thing. Good decision by her. Well done. All right. Well, let's not talk anymore about Stranger Things. So what's next?
So I've watched mainly Stranger Things, but I detached myself from Stranger Things. I watched some Natalie Portman films, which we're going to talk about after, maybe. But I finally watched the 2021 film with Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo, Jamie Dornan, Damon Wayans Jr., etc., Bob and Star go to Vista del Mar. Bob and Star.
What did you think of this film?
So it's a film about two girls who are very vanilla. Two women. Women?
Yeah, they are women. Well done. Yes.
So two women that are kind of very like cautious, and they have like they live their life together and stuff. That go on. They get fired and they go on impromptu holiday to this place called Vista del Mar, and here they meet Jamie Dornan, who is not who they think he is, and there is a plot that there's a plot of like killing people in this island because of something that happened many years ago.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous film.
Yes.
And the I enjoyed watching it. It was fun. I think it should have been more ridiculous. I feel like sometimes, and I've said this before with like English comedy and American comedy. I feel sometimes American comedy just sticks on with the slapstick a little bit too much and with the obvious funny joke. And whilst English comedy sometimes is a little bit more intelligent, and I wish it had been like more. If you're going to go ridiculous in this way, just be extremely ridiculous. You know, from the beginning, really, really, really stupid. But I felt like he was trying to be like, I feel he could have done more. It was an enjoyable time. It was, you know, not very, you know, and I love Kristen Wiig. And Jamie Dornan is quite funny in here. He takes the piss out of himself.
Yeah.
And so it's an enjoyable film to watch, but I think it could have been more ridiculous. It should have been more ridiculous.
Interesting. But do you not run the risk of, if you go more ridiculous, do you not run the risk of turning into like Scary Movie or something like that?
No, because I was thinking about films like Austin Powers.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's really stupid. Like that's just, but it's fun. At least the first one is really fun, but it's just really stupid, and the costumes are ridiculous, and the comedy is really silly. And I think it should have been because there's a villain played also by Kristen Wiig. So Kristen Wiig plays one of the women that goes to Vista del Mar and the villain. I guess I feel like it could have been a little bit more silly, like kind of an homage to Austin Powers. At least the first one, because then they just get rubbish. But so yeah, but it was fun. There was fun times. There was some good dirty jokes, and that's what they like in America. And yeah, but it was good. It was enjoyable. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did, probably broadly similar to you, but I didn't think about it as hard as to why. But I definitely thought it was very, very funny and silly, but not timeless, I guess you'd say. Like an Austin Powers movie. It's very funny to watch, but it hasn't stuck with me a lot. I think I watched it when I had COVID. Actually, weirdly.
I think it's something that you need, just colourful.
Yeah.
It's really colourful as well.
But I have.
But yeah.
When you mentioned it, then I had like warm feelings towards it. Like I'd probably happily sit down and watch it again, but I would never think to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then I just have a couple of albums recommendations, which
Hit me.
I've been meaning to text you for a couple of weeks now, and I feel like you might enjoy them both.
Okay.
The one that I think you will enjoy more is this album by Kate Le Bon
Yep.
called Pompeii.
Yep. Listen to it.
Oh, what do you
It's
think?
amazing.
Oh, the first time I listened to it, I thought of you, and I was like, even the beginning is just it's such a interesting album, and it's kind of timeless. It's got this really interesting music and vocals that don't really belong anywhere but they've said they're kind of like inspired by David Bowie in the 70s, but also I feel like they're also very inspired by now, and I love this album.
Yeah.
It's so good.
She's like a natural evolution of people like Kate Bush and Fiona Apple and like art, rock, pop sort of people. She's great. She's really good. And she's Welsh. Love the Welsh.
Yeah, you love the Welsh.
Yep.
And what's your favourite song?
Oh, good Lord. Let me have a look. I think the opening song... No, there's a song called French Boys that I like a lot.
Yeah. That's a great song. Yeah.
French Boys.
Yeah. And it's a really, really good album, and I knew you were going to like it because it's great, and I've listened to it on a loop for a couple of weeks, because it was after Kendrick Lamar's album was really hard to find something that I could really get into.
Yeah,
Everything seemed really bland, and then I found these two albums which I fell in love with. I really like Pompeii in this song. I really it's so random that you would choose Pompeii, but there's so many like things that she chose Pompeii for. Destruction and
anyone who picks topics for their songs that aren't just love or sadness, I'm into. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
good.
Picking odd things like Pompeii or I'm
and I really like that song, and great album. And the other album is by an English artist this time. I hope I say her name correctly. Let me see if I can find Niloufer Yanya.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know her?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
The new release, her new release, Painless. Have you heard it?
I've heard it a couple of times. My brother is a massive fan of Niloufer Yanya. He's been to see her live and stuff, so I've heard her album a couple of times. I like it. It's good. It's very sort of. There was a very funny thing where. Well, it wasn't funny. It's actually offensive in some ways. But Pitchfork, Pitchfork, our friends, reviewed the album.
Our friends, hi friends, Pitchfork friends.
So Niloufer Yanya did an interview where she's like, people always categorize my music as R&B, but it's not. It's just, pretty much because of the color of her skin, really, that people would do that. And then Pitchfork put up the review of that Painless album with the tag being that it was an R&B album. She's just like, that's not, she's doing like she's doing almost Radiohead-esque alt rock stuff. She's very, very good. She is, talented.
Painless is amazing. It's an amazing album, and it's so eclectic. It's just so different. Every song is different, and it's kind of like a really good 80s, 90s kind of mix, and I love her voice, and it's a great album, and I really I was really also, this was another album that I just listened to it constantly for a couple of weeks, and I now thought about you because I think you might enjoy her as well.
Yeah, I should give her more of a go. Sometimes I don't listen to things because my brother likes them.
Petty much?
Yeah, definitely. He's the petty. Let's not get into it.
But yeah, no, she's really, really good and very different from Kate Le Bon. But I'm enjoying listening to these female artists. And that's it. That's it for my culture catch up for this week.
I like it.
What about you?
Well, speaking of female musicians, have you heard the new single from Renus? What have I forgotten her name? Renus Sawayama?
Yes. Rina Sawayama.
Renus Sawayama, sorry, that's what I was getting wrong.
Yeah.
This Hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think of that song?
Insane. Her music is insane.
Yeah. Have you seen the video of her performing it on Jimmy Fallon?
No, I haven't
Okay,
actually.
we might need to watch that for MyTube because I've watched it
Okay.
I've watched it like 20 times and I can't work out why I keep watching it.
I'm kind of obsessed by her.
Yeah.
Like, she's a really interesting character. I remember watching her video the first time our friend Maria showed us.
We watched it
I
together.
think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Well done.
We watched it the last time we saw each other 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, in my flat in Bristol.
Yep.
About this kind of guy that fetishizes Asian girls, especially Japanese girls, and that video is incredible.
Yeah, he's eating stuff with chopsticks by like stabbing it through with the chopstick and stuff like that.
Yeah. He reminds me of certain people that we have met in Japan.
Yeah, definitely. But no, that we'll have to watch that in a bit because it's I'm obsessed with it. I don't know why. So, and other than that, over the past month or so since we last recorded, I've been to an unacceptable number of live concerts.
Why unacceptable?
Well, because it's lots of stuff that I booked pre-COVID, and they weren't necessarily all at the same time, and then they all got rearranged to all basically be in the same 2 week span. So, The Killers at Old Trafford in Manchester, fantastic show, one of the best, one of the biggest video screens I've ever seen at a gig. The only bigger video screen I've ever seen was at Metallica. So yeah, The Killers were great. What was after that? 9 Inch Nails in a small venue in Manchester called the Apollo, small for 9 Inch Nails, amazing. Then Red Hot Chili Peppers, which we discussed a few months ago, incredible. They didn't play The Heavy Wing, which we talked about as being your favourite song off the new album, which was disappointing because they did play it in London when they played there the following weekend, but never mind. But just seeing John Frusciante on stage was one of the...
must have been incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was astonishing. Then after that, the Green Day, Weezer and Fall Out Boy tour at the worst music venue I've ever been to, the John Smith Stadium in Huddersfield. But the bands are very good. And then after that, Rammstein in Coventry, maybe the best live gig I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
I will put some photos of that up on Instagram along with some of the Red Hot Chili Pepper ones because we talked about them. But yeah, Rammstein were just the best thing I've ever seen. And then last week, finally finished with Foals. And should have been Foals, supported by Everything, a band from Manchester I like, who then, when COVID happened, it was all changed. It was going to be Foals supported by Wet Leg, which I was incredibly excited about. And then somebody in Wet Leg got COVID, so they couldn't play. So then it was Foals supported by Yard Act, who are a pretty good new indie band from Leeds, who were very fun, and it was good to see them. And they were quite funny. They said, the lead singer said, sorry if you came here expecting Wet Leg and got this instead. I'm afraid we don't have any songs about posh furniture. And that was quite good.
Interesting.
But yeah, and amongst that, I've seen lots of films because it's been like a month, so I've seen all the films that have come out in the past month. I'm going to talk about 4 of them in a small amount of detail, and then the remaining amount I'm just going to very quickly say if they're good or bad, and then we can move past all of them. Dashcam.
Okay.
Pretty much straight to streaming, this one. You can rent it on Amazon Video. It's the follow-up film from director Rob Savage, who made the COVID-based horror movie Host. about a seance, a digital seance done over Zoom that goes wrong. That movie's great. Dashcam, his follow-up, is extremely controversial because it follows a lady called, what's her name? So it's a found footage movie. And
he likes that, doesn't he?
He does. Found footage movie, and it stars Annie Hardy, who is a real-life musician who in real life does a live from her car music show.
Okay.
Where she films herself using, I think it's Periscope is the app, this like live streaming app you can use, where she puts it on her dashboard and then she drives around and films herself improvising songs to words that people suggest through the chat, if that makes sense. So they've taken that real thing that she does and turned it into a horror movie where she goes and gets involved in a whole load of nonsense with like a cult and things like that over the course of an evening. The controversial part is that the real life person, Annie Hardy, has some quite extreme and, to me, and to a lot of people, and to you as well probably, unpleasant views regarding COVID vaccines and masks not being worn, etc., etc. And she's, by all accounts, not a very great person. And the director, Rob Savage, has said that he wanted to make a horror film where the main character was an asshole. So he took this already...
So he did it on purpose?
Yeah, he did. So he took this person who's already quite controversial and then got her to dial her own sort of controversial views up to 11 and has and turned her into the most unpleasant main character I think I've ever seen in a movie, leading to the film getting loads and loads of bad reviews because of people that can't quite separate disliking the main character in the film from whether the film itself is good or not. And if you can't do that, that's totally up to you. But like I had the best time watching this movie because it's so different to other... like I've not seen a film quite like it before where this person is just like sabotaging their own life at every turn and creating these horrible situations and just being this kind of force of chaotic, awful energy.
Yeah.
Because normally you'll get a film like this and the main character will be like really nice and they'll be lovely and then horrible things will happen to them and they'll be running around screaming and you'll be hoping that they survive. And it was so interesting to see a movie where the main character is awful, does things like flies to London, goes to a friend's house, finds his key without telling him, goes into his house in the middle of the night, spits on her hand and then slaps him in the face to wake him up. And he thinks
no. Oh God.
Yeah, like just does awful things like that. And then watching somebody like that running around screaming, trying to survive, you know, a demon attacking them and stuff, creates such a different energy to what is normal. I loved it, and I would recommend anyone who likes horror films, slightly out there films, to find Dashcam. It was great. Then up next is Nitram, a movie from last year if you are Australian, but it just was released now in the United Kingdom. It's directed by Justin Kurzel, who's a director who's made films like Snowtown and The True History of the Kelly Gang, and is a very kind of well-respected director in his home country of Australia and around the world. He made this film, Nitram, based on true events, and I had no idea about this when I went to see the movie, but it's based on the life of a man who committed a singularly horrific and awful mass shooting in Australia or Tasmania in the 90s that led to them repealing gun laws, etc. And this movie kind of... the guy who wrote this... like, this movie received huge amounts of controversy when it was announced. People in Tasmania said you shouldn't even make this film. It's awful. The director said it's that he wrestled with making it more than any other film he's done, whether he should even make it at all. The guy who wrote the film said he wrote the film when he saw how common mass shootings were becoming again and how it was happening a lot, and he wanted to put the audience in the shoes of a person who very clearly, inarguably, is not in control of their own behaviour, or at least is not someone who should ever be trusted around firearms because they are not responsible, and then show how easy it would have been for them to go and gain access to firearms. And there's a sequence near the end of this movie where this character, Nitram, played unbelievably well by Caleb Landry Jones, goes into a gun shop and is able to buy an arsenal of weapons with almost no... And it was I was brought to tears in the cinema, and I didn't know what I was watching. I had no idea this is what the film was about at all, and it was one of the most horrific, scarier than any actual horror movie I've ever seen. It was just horrible. And the movie ends with a credit scene, with the credits start coming up with no music over them at all, and I've never felt silence so physically in a cinema as at the end of this movie, where you don't even see, like, the film ends before the atrocities themselves happen. You don't even see any actual violence on screen, but you are led all the way up to the door, and it's clear to you what is happening, and it's horrible. And to find out afterwards it's all based on reality, and it was actually quite close to the true events and the life of this person is horrific. Caleb Landry Jones won Best Actor at the Cannes Film Festival. The film itself won just about every award going at the Australian Academy Awards, and isn't playing in that many cinemas, and is probably one that will easily pass people by, and is a difficult watch. I'll probably never ever watch it again, but I'd recommend anyone who wants to sort of, I don't know, experience that or challenge themselves in that way to watch it, because it is pretty incredible. But it's not an easy film to watch at all, but I'm so glad that I did watch it.
Yeah.
But I already think that, I already kind of, the film wants you to come away from it thinking a certain way about guns, and I already felt like that going in, so it's probably more important that other people watch it. But anyway, yeah, Nitram.
Sounds amazing.
It's a masterpiece, but hard. Up next, I watched The Black Phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did we watch the trailer for that?
Yeah, we did watch the trailer for that. I still remember.
Yeah. Directed by Scott Derrickson. He made it once he dropped off the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because he was originally going to direct that, because he directed Doctor Strange. But when he dropped off that, he made this film instead. It's set in the 70s, in a small community in, I think it's Colorado, the film is set in. And primarily follows Finney, played by Mason Thames, who is kidnapped by a serial killer known only as the Grabber, played by Ethan Hawke, and Madeline McGraw plays Gwen, who is Finney's sister, who has psychic powers, and is attempts to kind of help him and rescue him, along with the spirits of all the other children murdered by the Grabber, who are able to communicate with Finney through the titular black phone in the basement he's being kept in. A really solidly made, very, very well done horror film with not many jump scares, but a couple of jump scares done so well that when I saw it in the cinema, a girl 2 seats away from me literally jumped out of her seat during one of them, and then the entire cinema kind of laughed in relief. How kind of, when you get scared, then you laugh because you don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And also towards the end, during a moment where, obviously, you can predict how the film goes, so it's not a spoiler to say that Finney, near the end of the movie, manages to get one up on the Grabber and start to kind of fight back. And during that sequence, a very, very large, bald man who looked very intimidating, when this child was able to get any hand in this fight, jumped out of his chair and punched the air. Because it's that kind of movie that just gets you really, really invested in what's happening, because it's just kind of so well done. It's very, very funny when it needs to be funny. It's very scary and creepy when it needs to be scary and creepy. And it's just really well made. I'd definitely recommend people go and watch The Black Phone for sure. And the other one, the only other one to really talk about in any detail is Miss Marvel. Have you watched any Miss Marvel yet?
No, I haven't. So once I finish Stranger Things, Miss Marvel is going to be my thing. You know that.
That's fair.
I can't watch too many things at once.
That's fair. I'm really, really, as of recording, there's been 3 episodes. 3 or maybe 4, actually. 3 or 4 episodes. Good. Really, really, really good. I'm really enjoying it, so I'll be interested to see what you think of it when it comes to you watching it, but I won't say much more for fear of spoiling. And then very quickly, Spiderhead.
Yes.
Netflix movie with Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller, directed by, I can't remember his name, but the same guy directed Top Gun Maverick. Rubbish, don't bother, didn't like it. Okay. Waste of time. Good Luck to You, Leo Grand is a film starring Emma Thompson as a teacher who hires a male escort with the purposes of engaging in sexual activity, and the entire movie is set in a hotel room and is basically conversations between these 2 characters. Very, very good film. Very, has a big message of body positivity and things, and is and sex positive and stuff, and is good. Definitely recommend people checking that out. Lightyear, the latest Pixar movie following Buzz Lightyear. Nonsense, bad, silly film. not very good.
Oh, so it is nonsense.
Yeah.
There's no catch. There's
No,
no
it opens with a line. It opens with writing on screen saying, in 1995, Andy saw a movie and bought his toy based on it. Became his favourite movie, and he bought a toy based on it. This is that movie. So it's meant to be the movie that Andy saw in the Toy Story universe in 1995 that made him buy the Buzz Lightyear toy. Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay.
Except that
It makes more sense than...
But then the movie you watch is inspired by things like multiverses and the movie Interstellar and relative time travel, all concepts that weren't really part of children's Hollywood cinema in the 90s. So that conceit holds up for about 14 seconds, and the rest of the movie just doesn't have any heart to it, doesn't need to exist. It's enjoyable enough. I mean, you can watch it and have a perfectly good time, but you come away from it feeling empty. Not a big recommendation. Jurassic World Dominion, I refuse to talk about it. It's awful.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's so bad. It's so bad. The only good thing in it is Jeff Goldblum. But other than that, it's just terrible.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is a real shame. The Princess just hit Disney Plus in the UK. It's an action movie starring Joey King.
Yeah.
Do you know Joey King off of the Kissing Booth?
Yeah, of course I did. Kissing Booth. Of course I watched the Kissing Booth.
I haven't seen the Kissing Booth, but I really like Joey King, and I was quite excited for this film. She plays a princess. It's set in medieval times. She wakes up at the top of a tower, handcuffed, and is going to be forced to marry a prince that she doesn't want to marry. So she fights her way down the tower, killing lots of people along the way, and that's a great concept. Like a princess that fights back and, is well trained and sword fighting, and it's got quite a lot of good little action sequences and stuff. But the movie's only an hour and a half long, and by about an hour and 10 minutes, it feels like the entire story is played out, and then it just drags itself along for 20 more minutes. And it's unfortunate because the concept is great. Joey King is brilliant, and like Joey King as an action star is something I really want to see more of. But this movie isn't that well done, unfortunately. But it's only an hour and a half. It's probably available on Disney Plus wherever you are, or Hulu, I think, if you're in America. Maybe check it out if you like Joey King.
Yeah.
I'd like it. Elvis, the Baz Luhrmann Elvis movie.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks playing Colonel Tom Parker. Austin Butler playing Elvis. I don't like Elvis. I don't like his music. This movie, 5 stars. Loved it. I've seen it twice.
Oh, wow.
Austin Butler is Elvis Presley in it and will almost definitely be nominated for an Oscar next year for his performance. Tom Hanks is doing something that you've got to see. You've got to see to believe. But
I love Tom Hanks is doing something.
It's a very, very strange performance. And then I just like Baz Luhrmann's style. I know a lot of people really have a distaste for him.
I love Baz Luhrmann.
But that kind of maximalist filmmaking, I think, works really well for the Elvis Presley story. And, the camera is spinning around all the time and doing all kinds of things. But the sequences where he's singing, like the first time you see him perform at this hayride in the 50s in America and you see his hips come to life and stuff, it's... You kind of understand, even someone like me who's not a fan of his music, you can see how important he is, as a figure in the history of music and stuff.
I've been trying to tell you for years.
I still don't like his music, but...
I understand. But
but yeah, that movie's good. And it's had some really sniffy reviews, and I think that people should give it more of a chance. I think it's great. All My Friends Hate Me is a small little kind of indie horror film, horror comedy out of the UK, made by a couple of YouTubers. It's about a guy who goes to his rich friend's expensive country mansion for the weekend for his birthday, but gets there and gets the unsettling feeling the entire time that all of his friends hate him, including this guy they picked up in the local pub who really seems to have it in for him, but everyone else can't see it. And it's all about social anxiety and those feelings where you're convinced all the time that people don't like you, even if they do. And that's a feeling I'm very familiar with, and the movie is very, very good at getting under your skin and kind of making you feel that. And it's good. It's a tiny movie. You probably have already missed it in the cinemas, but if you can find it streaming anywhere, I'd really recommend All My Friends Hate Me. Mad God, made by special effects legend Phil Tippett, is a movie that he's spent the last 30 years making over weekends. It's entirely stop motion animated, just about, with a tiny little bit of live action stuff. almost zero dialogue. I don't know if there's any dialogue in it at all, and it tells this very conceptual story of a sort of deep diver going into this hellish underworld and looking for something, and just kind of passing through all of these awful kind of vistas and scenes, and it's kind of very, very gory and violent and strange and Lovecraftian, and I absolutely adored it, and I'd recommend people find it. It's on Shudder in the UK and probably other places, and it's this kind of singular piece of work that you're not going to see anywhere else, and is definitely worth checking out. The whole thing looks like an hour and a half long Tool video from the 90s, so big recommendation. And then last, Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Yes.
Very quick review. First two episodes were fine. Episode 3 and 4 were some of the worst things I've ever seen in the Star Wars universe. Awful. Episode 5 was good, and then episode 6 was fantastic, amazing. So overall, mixed, but probably worth watching to get through to the end, because it does end very well. But it's come out recently that originally they were going to make an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie trilogy. Then the Han Solo movie was a huge flop, and Disney got cold feet on that one, so turned it into a series. So they took the script that had been written for the first movie and stretched it out into a 6-hour series. And I think those 2 hours in the middle are the real filler that you can sense they just put in, because they needed to, they needed, and because like nothing happens. You could almost skip the episode 3 and 4 and not miss anything. Which is weird, but there's some really good, there's some awesome Darth Vader stuff in the last 2 episodes. So recommend checking that out.
But I guess, well, I don't understand how you can get cold feet. The Han Solo film was terrible because we didn't need a Han Solo film.
Yeah.
But maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi trilogy would work because
I think
he's been in the mix for a very long time.
I think as well as cold feet, it wasn't just cold feet. It was also an element of what's the word I'm looking for? They launched Disney Plus and were more keen on having content for Disney Plus suddenly than they were for cinemas, which is why we've kind of not really had a Star Wars. We've not had a Star Wars movie since Episode 9, partly because of how Solo flopped and partly because they want people to get Disney Plus now, so they're pushing stuff onto Disney Plus much more. Which is, it is what it is, but, a TV show and a film are two different things, and maybe when they decided to make a TV show, they should have retooled to a higher degree their plans. Yeah. But, it is what it is. Also Moses Ingram from The Queen's Gambit is in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and suffered a lot of really awful racial abuse from idiots online and who didn't like her performance. She's amazing in it. She's great. She's fantastic. And I hate people so much. She should carry on doing what she's doing, and obviously she will. And I can't wait to see her in more stuff in the future, because I've loved her in The Queen's Gambit, and I thought she was fantastic in Obi-Wan Kenobi. One of the few good things in the middle sections are her scenes. So, shut up,
God,
racist.
people are awful. Yeah. People are awful.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Okay, what should we do next? A bit of MyTube?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, because we can't do homework.
No, okay, let's quickly talk about homework first. I was supposed to watch the movie Breathe, starring Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
I rented it on Andrew Prime. I rented it on Amazon Prime Video, and I watched 25 minutes of it, and I couldn't bear to watch a single second more, so I turned it off, and my rental is going to run out, and I'm not paying again to watch it, so I don't think I'm going to finish Breathe. I can tell you what I thought of the first 25 minutes.
If you still have the rental, just go to when he's actually, when he can't move.
I got there.
And, okay.
It's just not my kind of film. I really don't like films like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad film. I can't...
No, it's not the best film. It's not a great film. I just thought that he was... I as an actor, I think he's really good in it.
Yeah, he is.
And that's the thing. That's why I chose the film. I don't, I would never watch that film again. I'm not interested. I just thought him as a portrayal of a person that is mobile and then completely loses all mobility and be able to portray that. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, definitely. But also, it's kind of misery porn, and I don't like it.
Great.
Sorry.
I haven't done my homework at all.
Yeah.
No reason. Well, Boy A, I haven't really found, so it was really difficult to find.
Yeah.
And episode 9, I just can't take it. I don't know if I can. I can't take disappointment when it comes to
Come
Star
on,
Wars.
you've got to watch the last.
I will
stuff.
watch it. I will tell you when I watch it, but
Okay.
I will watch it when I feel. Because every time I'm like, oh, I should watch it, and then something else pops up, and I'll watch something else. Or
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Well, if I might try and watch some more of Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe.
Don't breathe. Don't breathe.
But it's too silly. Not silly. Like it opens with it doesn't do much setup for his character or his wife's character before he gets polio. It's very like suddenly they're married and they're desperately in love, but it's not really giving you any reason to believe why. And then he gets polio and he can't move. And then I was like, there's like another 90 minutes of this film. What's it going to do beyond endless scenes of him not being able to move and it being really sad?
It's not really sad.
It is really sad. His baby, he's got his baby there, and she's putting the baby on his face.
Yeah, but is he still in the hospital after 26 minutes? Yeah, well, you need to watch when he comes out of the hospital. It does get better. It's like the beginning is really sad, and then you see what he does for the community that has polio, like the different things that have happened. Like maybe if you just go through that sadness, if you swim through the swamp of sadness, then you'll find some happiness.
But if maybe I just fundamentally don't like.
Because she takes them out of the hospital, and then they won't go living somewhere, and then it becomes a little bit like less.
It reminds me of another movie I hated called The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne, which was about a Victorian painter who painted lots of pictures of cats, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. And I just don't like historical biography movies about people that I don't care about. Like, I'm sure it's great what he did for the community and etc., but I just don't want to watch it.
Don't.
I watched 25 minutes of it.
Yeah, but you watch like the sad part. Now you need to watch
But
the
I
happy
saw
part.
his performance. It's a good performance. Well done, Alex.
Yeah, he's a good
Picked
performer.
a good performance. Well done.
Yeah,
good.
well done.
You made the right choice.
He's taking some time off. Are you going to be judgmental about him?
No. What?
He's taking some time off as well from acting.
Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I will be judgmental about it. I still think it's stupid.
Why?
Don't tell people about it. Just have a break if you want a break.
I guess.
And what's it going to be, like 6 weeks?
I don't know.
Anyway. MyTube. Okay, I'm going to show you a movie trailer for a film, and you're just going to count how many people you recognise in the trailer.
Okay, I am ready.
Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Victim's name is Leo Kopernik, sir. He was killed in the costume.
Oh, Saoirse Ronan.
Yes.
The guy from The Pianist. Adrian Brody. The guy from Free Billboards.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
Well done.
Sorry, sir. How much longer do you intend to hold us all?
Her.
Ruth Wilson.
From... Yes. Oh, him. From...
David Oyelowo.
Yes.
Celebrated, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I can't read my own handwriting.
Ah, Saoirse, you're amazing.
An incident. I'll kill you.
Oh, this looks like fun.
Yes.
Real fun. It's a period piece. 1920s?
Maybe later than that.
Later?
Yeah, because Richard Attenborough's in it as like a character,
Okay.
which you'll see there.
Ah, yeah. 1930s, 40s.
Yeah, maybe around then.
Me, Inspector. I arrest you for the murder of Leo Cochran.
We have a serial killer on the loose.
Oh, this looks good.
Stand back.
And also there are so many, I like when there are so many actors.
You're like, oh, I recognise them.
Some,
We are no longer merely suspects. We are also potential victims.
so it's a murder mystery in a theatre,
Yeah.
whodunit kind of film. So,
Wasn't so much what he did.
a la Knives Out.
Yeah, but looks like maybe it will have less of a message to it than Knives Out, and be
I don't think it's going to have a message. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be just
just
fun
a
to watch.
fun film.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Oh.
that movie. Also because it's the first film directed by a guy who directed all or most of a British comedy called This Country, which, if
Okay.
you've never seen, is fantastic, and I'd recommend checking out. It's like one of the best British comedies of the past few years. Like up there with Only Fools and Horses and stuff. It's a classic, in my opinion. So yeah, see how they run. I'm really looking forward
That looks
to
fantastic.
that. We've got a
I'm glad that you remember names because I can't think. I can't. I look at the
That
face. I
one.
know the face.
That's
That one.
the one.
That
Look
one.
at that one. Okay.
That's why we work.
Got a little minute-long clip for you here of a teaser trailer for something Netflix is putting out. You might have seen it, you might not. Let me know.
Okay. Ready.
Okay. So what's it called?
It's called Blonde. Oh, is it the one with the actress from Knives Out,
Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas, about Marilyn Monroe?
It just may be. So let's have a look at this.
I've watched it and she is incredible. She looks like Marilyn, but let's do it.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Please come. Don't abandon
It is. It is. I don't know what the makeup is or her face is so similar to Marilyn Monroe's, but they've done something incredible to her here.
Yeah, they have, right? It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
Wild. And I never would have imagined, when I heard that she was going to do this film, I never imagined that she would work,
Yeah.
but she does.
She definitely seems to in this trailer.
Like at least face-wise and expression-wise. Oh, when she smiles, it's perfect, isn't
Yeah.
it? I don't know if she studied that.
She surely must have done.
Yeah, but incredible. Like, it's not that easy. She's such an incredible actress. I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It should be.
I've always been really, like, fascinated by Marilyn Monroe, and I've watched a lot of, like, things about her, because I think she's just a fascinating character.
She is.
And great actor.
I've not really seen
But
any of
always
the movies, but I don't have any. I'm sure she
But
is.
always underestimated, I think.
Yeah, and she was.
And always, like, looked as a bombshell rather than, like, an intelligent human being with talent.
Yeah, and she got. She was around at a very sort of. She was friends with presidents, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Or more than friends with
Yeah.
presidents, if rumours are to be believed. Who
don't.
knows?
Who knows?
Maybe the film will tell us. Okay, so then one last little movie trailer. Again, a slightly short one. I
Yeah.
didn't even notice this. This is like 2 weeks old, this trailer, but I didn't see it until this morning when I was scanning for things that we could look at. So
Oh.
load this up and see what you think.
Oh my god! I didn't know this existed.
Did you not?
No,
right?
so George has sent me a Matilda trailer. And no, I knew it existed actually. I saw something. It's a musical, isn't
It's
it?
based on. It's an adaptation of the Tim Minchin musical
Yes,
from the
yes.
West End. Yes.
I've heard about it and I think I've seen a clip, but I'm ready to watch
Okay,
it.
let's see.
So Matilda the musical.
Yes. 3, 2, 1, go.
So there's a gate, crunch 'em all.
is full of
So who's Mrs. Trunchbull?
It's Emma Thompson.
No.
Unrecognisable when you see her.
Oh my goodness. So it's a musical, so I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy it. But
Matilda.
you never know.
Matilda Wormwood.
I do. Oh. Well, the parents looked pretty genuine.
Well, Stephen
cake
Graham's
looked
great.
okay.
Lashana Lynch playing Miss Honey.
Matilda the musical.
Matilda Wormwood. Criminals like you need a real lesson.
Oh, yes, it is Emma Thompson. Wow.
See if that child is still alive.
I don't know.
I'm excited, but I like musicals, and Matilda's one of the greatest books of all time.
Yeah. Have you seen there's a Hocus Pocus 2 coming out?
I did. I almost put that down for something we could watch, but the teaser trailer for that's got like nothing in it. All right, so just not very quickly because it's a few minutes long, but I need you to see this. I need to know why this is why I keep watching it.
Because you're obsessed.
A little bit.
Okay, so George sent me Rina Sawayama, This Hell, The Tonight Show.
Yes,
Let's
I think
go.
it's an amazing live performance. So let's see. 3,
Okay.
2, 1, go. Ugh, go away.
Performing This Hell from her upcoming new album, Hold the Girl, here's Rina Sawayama!
I've seen the video. Have you seen the video?
Video's good with the wedding and things.
Yeah.
But this came out. I think this was the first thing that you saw the song on. Pretty much, she like announced the song with this performance.
She's so beautiful.
Yes. But it's a good song, right? It's a really good song.
Yeah. She's such an interesting artist because she always changes how she does things and she never goes in the same direction.
Yeah, because this is like a bit country-ish almost.
Yeah.
But then like her last album, she had like almost rock and metal songs on it.
Yeah.
And like the choreography they've got for it is pretty good.
Are you in love with Rina
A
Sawayama?
little bit.
Just a little bit. I was quite obsessed with him for a while. I love who she is. And also, she's just beautiful to look at. George is bobbing his head. It's so weird though. Like it's like in a proper country, with like hay bales,
Hay bales and
hay bales.
windmill in the background, and line dancing.
Are you becoming a country music fan?
No, not at all. I think those dancers are in the music video as well. Her dancers, I think they're like her main dancers that she always has, I think.
See, I don't understand why you're obsessed with this video.
It's great. Do you not think it's great?
It's okay. It's not very exciting. There are no explosions.
No, it's just a really good... I don't know what it is.
There's a
about
good
it.
performance, absolutely. She's a good performer, but you just like the country.
No, I don't like country.
Next time, be like your favorite album is like Billy Ray Cyrus or something.
No, definitely not. She's got a little band there rocking out.
Yeah.
There's lightning.
some lightning. Yeah. Oh, my eye.
What have you done?
My ass is so hot. My ass is stuck to the chair.
Oh,
Oh.
don't like that at all. Well, did you see any of the recent Glastonbury performances? Because there was some pretty good live performances there.
I've seen Olivia Rodrigo.
Bringing out Lily Allen.
Yeah, I really like that.
That was very good.
And I love that song. So, and I love Lily Allen. I think she's had so much. Yeah, I like the performance. Not bad. Yeah, I love Lily Allen. I think she's had so much bad press from the British media,
Definitely.
and I think she had to fight a lot of crap. I think, and she's come out on top, really, but not really. She seems still a bit like PTSD of being around people. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the first time she's performed live in a while. And I think she said afterwards it was the first time she's ever performed on stage sober, which is wild.
Yeah.
Well done her for,
Yeah, I think in that period of time, I think there was Lily Allen and Amy Winehouse and like those performances that were not they were getting no rest from the tabloids and everything was scrutinized, and I'm glad that she is out again.
Definitely agreed.
God, the tabloids, they should all be banned, really.
I agree. They should. Okay.
But yeah, Rina Sawayama, looking forward to listening to her new album.
Yeah, when that comes out, that'll be good. Hold the Girl, I think it's called. Okay, should we get into our top 5 for the week?
Top 5. Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our top 5.
So this week is top 5 Natalie Portman films.
Yes, in honour of Thor, Love and Thunder, which...
Yeah, just going to come out when this episode airs.
Yes.
Which is the 7th of...
Yes, 7th of July. And
7th of July.
She looks pretty good in that from the trailers, so that's exciting.
Yeah. Natalie Portman, I've known her for a long time. She's started acting for we've known of her existence for a long time.
Yes.
She started acting when she was really young.
Yes.
And we all know she's a good actress.
Yes.
But I was texting George the other day, and I was like, I can't believe such a good actress has been in so many not great films.
Yeah.
Which is it's upsetting, because I think she could do amazing things, and I feel like that there was gonna be an honorable mention later of a film that is absolute rubbish, but she's great in it.
Oh, interesting.
Great in it.
Oh, okay.
Incredible in it. Like, she actually brings some kind of joy to this film.
Is it Garden State?
No.
Okay.
Oh God, that film. Oh, have you watched Garden State?
No, I've never seen it ever.
Oh, she's good in it. She's really good in it.
Yeah.
It's just such a I don't know. And I think she's great, and I love her how she thinks. I think she's I like what she believes in, but I just don't understand. I don't understand.
She's a fool. No, she's not a fool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I said that.
No, I don't think she's a fool. I think
No,
she
I
just
don't-
goes
I
for
don't think
interesting, because the films that she does are interesting, have got an interesting thing to it. However, they're not necessarily good.
But
In fact,
some of them are very good.
some of them are okay. Okay, so I need to start, yeah?
Yeah. What's your number 5 pick?
My number 5 pick is just a second. Na 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 na. My number 5
That started off
is
as Rina Sayama and then turned into ABBA.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
This is she's very versatile as an actress. I think she can do anything.
And how?
Yes. So my number 5 is the 2011 Marvel film Thor.
That's my number 5 as well, so you need to pick a different one.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
go on.
Where she plays Jane Foster, who is a scientist, I guess.
Absolutely, she's a scientist.
Yeah, she's a
Some
scientist.
sort of an astrophysicist.
Yeah,
Maybe.
And this is where she meets for the first time Thor, who comes from Asgard and who has been sent to on Earth because he's arrogant and so he has to live amongst humans. He meets Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, and they fall in love. He falls in love with her. Then she at some point she loves him back. But I think she's very good in this film. She's you didn't really need to try hard at the beginning of Marvel. You didn't really have to try hard, and she did a great job.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 5 pick is also Thor, and she said at the time the reason she did it was because Kenneth Branagh was directing it, and it seemed like such an odd thing that he'd make a Thor movie, and so she did it, and it's good that she did because she brings, I think, slightly more, I don't know, gravitas to the role than maybe some other actors and actresses might. She's really fun in it, and she, there's some really good, I really like. It's very silly, but the moment when he gets his powers back and she sees him and she's like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Mighty God." It's a very good little bit of cinema that I enjoy, and she plays it well. She plays suddenly being incredibly excited by Thor. She plays it well, so it's good.
Yeah, she does, and I think that's why she's a good actress, because she puts really good effort in all of her films, and I think she was really good in this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her in Thor: Love and Thunder.
I can't wait to see her in Thor: Love and Thunder. She has piled on the muscle for that film.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Good. So what's your number 4 pick then?
my number 4 pick then is a film that I didn't particularly like. I don't. Yeah, but I think she's put so much effort in this film, and I think she's great, and I think she's the only good thing about this film, and she carries it through. She just carries it amazingly well, and that's 2010 Darren Aronofsky film Black Swan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not. Was about Nina, played by Natalie Portman, who is a ballerina, and she she's obsessed by ballet and to be perfect in ballet, and she gets the part of a white swan and black swan. I didn't realize it was the same ballerina that had to do the same thing, but yeah, she does, and this brings her to a mental breakdown towards the end of the film. I did not like the film. I wanted to be a bit more visceral, her losing it, and it was clearly directed by a man, which made it a little bit voyeuristic, in my opinion. I didn't like how certain power dynamics worked. The bitchy ballerina, they all hate each other. That really, maybe 11 years ago would have been fine, but me watching it, I watched it last night, I didn't like it. Darren Aronofsky is an interesting director. I find his work fascinating, but I didn't really understand this one. I didn't feel like there was enough for her to go really crazy. I feel you could have pushed it in different ways without all the with sexual stuff. I think it could have been more about her and being obsessed with ballet rather than adding the stuff just to make people go, oh, Mila Kunis is going down on Natalie Portman. It didn't make sense. However, Natalie Portman carries this film in an incredible way, and if it hadn't been Natalie Portman, it would have not worked, because even Mila Kunis is not very good in this film, and Vincent Cassel is rubbish in this film, and I feel like she's the best thing that this bad film makes. And so that's why she's my number 4.
Fair enough, interesting. When you say visceral, what do you mean though? Because it's quite a visceral movie.
I didn't feel like it. They didn't feel this, her going crazy or her having these things. It just didn't feel real, in the sense of it didn't feel natural. Like she just, I don't know. I think it could have gone bigger. So, for example, if you ever watched Requiem for a Dream, you can see how big it goes. It just like completely like crazy stuff happens, and I'm not saying that that's how it's supposed to be, but I think if somebody at the end kills herself with a shard of glass, I feel that it has to be bigger.
I felt like it was big. I felt like it was as big as it could be.
No, I was like, what? And then I don't know.
Because her entire life has been building up to being in the ballet.
Yeah, and it could have. I think he could have added more stuff about her rather than adding other people to it. I think it had to be more like internal, more. It's my opinion. I just feel like it wasn't big enough, but.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but she was great in it. She's really amazing in it, and but I think he could have pushed her in more. It could have pushed her losing it more, and the relationship with her mother. There's certain things that didn't really. I felt there was a lot watered down, and there was not any moments that were like no crescendo, in my opinion. But then
interesting.
Yeah.
Fair enough. My number 4 pick is the 1994 movie directed by Luc Besson, Leon.
Yeah.
The Professional. Where she plays Mathilde.
Yeah, Mathilde.
Mathilde, who is a 12-year-old girl who is taken in by professional hitman Leon, played by Jean Reno. This is the movie that turned Jean Reno briefly into a Hollywood film star, and is the reason that he's in that very bad Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Because he's amazing in this film.
Incredible.
As the hitman. Also amazing in this film is Gary Oldman as the screaming villain. In fact, there are scenes in this movie that I thought were in The Fifth Element. Because I always remember his bad guy in The Fifth Element. I remember going really crazy and screaming at people. But it's this film where he's going like proper off the deep end, screaming. Yeah. But yeah, like Natalie Portman was really young when she made this film. It's like her first ever movie, and she, I think, does it really, really well. Amazingly. As this girl who kind of slowly becomes goes from being the girl that's being protected by Leon to his sort of protege and starts learning from him, and it's really visceral, and it's one of those movies where I think everyone is on top form in it. Yeah.
And this is a great performance of Natalie Portman, especially as how old was she when she did it?
Like 12, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. It's just when there's a scene where she walks to the door and she starts like crying. It's just like, you're just a kid and you're already like showing so much amazing talent. Yeah. Yeah. She's incredible in this film.
Yeah.
I've got it on my list as well.
Good.
But not on number 4.
That's fair. So yeah, and yeah, it's just, I remember watching Leon when I was quite young as well, because I mean, I probably watched it when I was about 12 or something.
Yeah.
And just it's just so unlike any, like, that's one of the great things about Luc Besson is when he makes a film like Leon, it's set in America, but it doesn't feel like an American action movie because it's got his sensibility to it. So it moves at a slightly different rhythm and pace and stuff, and it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. I think it almost feels like comic book-esque at times. So yeah, no, great film, love Leon. I think Natalie Portman's great in it, and you know, it's such a key role. If they'd miscast that role, if they'd gotten a bad child actor, which would be very easy to do, in that role, the entire movie wouldn't work. And the fact that they found her and put her in the movie, great.
Talking about child actors, you remember you always telling me that you didn't really like child actors.
Okay.
Well, you know, when we talked about the Goonies and we talked about Bugsy Malone, you know, talking about child actors, you were, I know, but thinking about Natalie Portman in Leon and the cast of Stranger Things and other things that we watch, you know, there are some good child actors and there are some good children things to watch.
No, there are. I don't dislike child actors. I just don't like Bugsy Malone.
Okay, fine.
Macaulay Culkin was very good in his day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, great film. Luc Besson is amazing. Made me want to. I think we should do our top 5 Luc Besson films.
I'd have to watch more Luc Besson films to do that. But
and that's the thing. I think more Luc Besson in your life will be better.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
Because there's probably some really weird stuff as well.
Yes. Did he direct Lucy? I think he did. Yeah. No, I haven't
seen Lucy, actually.
Oh, it's so bad, but I love it. I really like it. All right, so what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a film that you probably love. So my number 3 is a 2018 Natalie Portman film directed by Alex Garland, Annihilation.
That's my number 3 as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and I do love it.
Yes, of course you do. It's an interesting film. It's interesting. I have my issues with it, of course. But it's about a biologist played by Natalie Portman who signs up for this mission that her husband has just come back from, but it's not really her husband that has come back.
Yeah.
Is something that looks like her husband. And she goes into this mission with another 3 people. Dr. Ventress, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. Josie Reddick, played by Tessa Thompson, and she's some kind of IT person, or is she not do something with? She's a scientist.
They're all
they're all scientists.
Variations of scientists.
And Gina Rodriguez, Anya Torrenson, played by Gina Rodriguez, and they all go in not knowing if they will come back because nobody has come back from this expedition, and it's basically them being in this what's it called, the
Shimmer.
The Shimmer. This, I feel like Natalie Portman brings a little bit of seriousness to this film, which I think it's needed. I think she brings some kind of calm, and she's always very cool and collected. And there is a scene. My favorite scene of this film is at the end when they're in the lighthouse, and this alien is trying to mimic her, but not mimicking her. I thought that was genius. Mm-hmm. Like because I thought, if he's mimicking her, they can just go around, but he's mimicking her so they can find themselves. And I thought that was great. I thought that was great filmmaking and writing. And the film is okay. It's I just don't understand how nobody comes out, but Natalie Portman does. But
what do you mean?
And her there've been a lot of expeditions in this Shimmer.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But only 2 people come out of this Shimmer. It doesn't really explain why.
Well, you see there's a lot of aggressive, violent things in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But how did they not die? What made them different? How did
Um,
Natalie? How? Why did Natalie Portman and her husband did not die? That's the only
well,
thing
her
that I was
husband,
asking
her
myself.
husband did die
Yeah, but it's come out.
because he got through to the lighthouse. I don't think anyone else has gotten to the lighthouse. I think
Okay,
they've all
but
died
then
on the way due to like the bears without faces or
yeah,
the worms that come in. They spent.
yeah,
I
but
think people have. She manages to get to the lighthouse and find the lighthouse. I think other expeditions have spent too long in the shimmer itself, and it's because your body turns into worms.
yeah,
So I think that's been the issue.
but
But
Ventress
I think there's
dies
also. But I
in
think
the lighthouse.
how does Ventress die again? Because you've watched this more recently than me.
Like in the lighthouse, she arrives to the lighthouse, and then she goes, well, she does a speech, and then she dies. That's the thing.
How does she
Like,
die?
she's inside the hole in the lighthouse, and then she says some stuff, and then she goes, "Woo," and then she kind of becomes dust or something.
Right. Okay. I think there's various things going on in terms of like I think all of the women are dying. If that's right that go in.
Well, Ventress is dying because she's got cancer, and the other two, one of them, Tessa, the girl that plays Tessa Thompson, she suffers, she self harms,
Right.
and Gina Rodriguez's character, she is an alcoholic,
Right.
and Natalie Portman has lost her husband, so she's got nothing to live. So everybody
Yeah,
that goes
they've
in
got-
there
they're all-
is kind of like self-destructive.
Yeah. And then I think there's meant to be something to the fact that that team is all women, and I think all the other teams have been sent have been men.
Yeah.
But the
I don't
film
know.
doesn't overly explain it.
No.
But I like that
But it's-
ambiguity.
Yeah, it's a good film. I enjoyed watch. It's really beautiful to watch. Visually is amazing, and I think that's the best thing about the film.
Definitely.
And Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
I think she's the best part of the film, and I think that's what I've realized watching her films, that she's the best part of any film.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tessa Thompson, and there's pretty great actors in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just really I think she, I don't know, she's got this different aura to her that I feel
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
she should be, in my opinion, she should be in better films.
I mean, broadly, yes, but this is a film that she is as good as this. Like, this film is as good as her, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just didn't understand. I just was like, I don't know. I just wanted.
But I shouldn't tell you everything. I like that it doesn't tell you everything.
Yeah, I guess so.
And
Yeah,
it's
that's good.
It's not like
And then-
it's not. It's a sci-fi movie, but it tries to make you think and gets you to ask questions rather than just lightsabers and running around. Like I don't know. There was a big. I feel really protective of this movie because it was cancelled from coming out in cinemas because the studio that made it got cold feet about it, and it ended up
Why?
because they thought it was too philosophical and too heady and not kind of actiony enough and exciting enough. So it ended up just being dropped on Netflix, denying me the opportunity to ever see it in the cinema, and also denying a lot of people the opportunity to really ever find it because it just kind of got lost a bit. So I feel a bit protective of it because I think it's a lot better than what it got. I think it deserved much better and deserved a
Yeah,
better
it's
chance.
not a
in the
bad
world.
film. I just have my questions about why only these two people that are connected were allowed to come out of the.
Because they did. I don't know. Sometimes
The
I don't
shimmer.
know. I feel like questions like that. Sometimes it's like lots of odd things happen that aren't. They don't need to be explained. Like
Yeah.
in real life, sometimes things happen. People survive things that
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect them to, or that nobody else would, or just,
Yeah.
I like inexplicable
Yeah.
things. And
I really like the
ideas.
moment where Tessa Thompson, she starts growing plants over her self-harming things, and I thought that was really beautiful because it's kind of like she found peace in the shimmer,
Yeah,
and where she couldn't find peace outside the shimmer, she found it
Yeah.
in the shimmer. So that was really interesting. It's an interesting film. I think it's definitely worth watching because it does you do question certain things, and you watching the film, you question why people would go to the shimmer. So Natalie Portman at one point asks Ventress, why would somebody go to on a mission that of maybe no return? And you could ask that of any person that goes in the military and goes to war. Why?
Yeah.
And so, and she's a military person, so she should know why people take this risk.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting film. Definitely worth watching, and also, like I said before, visually beautiful. Like the beach with all the crystals, that was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's based on a novel by Jeff Vandermeer, but is more broadly inspired. The novel that it's based on was inspired by another novel from 1972 called Roadside Picnic, which is a Russian novel about a very similar idea of there being this zone that you can't go into for various reasons, and it's kind of alien involved. And that was adapted loosely into a movie by Andrei Tarkovsky in 1979 called Stalker, which is one of the all-time best things anyone. So if you've seen Annihilation and liked it, and you haven't seen the 1979 film Stalker, if you want more unanswerable, strange questions and mind-bogglingly beautiful imagery, go and watch Stalker, because it is better than Annihilation, and is one of those movies that everybody who has a passing interest in cinema should see. So yeah, just wanted to say that. That's my number 3 pick, along with your number 3 pick. So now we can go to your number 2 pick.
My number 2 pick is 2005 film.
This is my number 2 pick as well.
Oh, V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess this shows that she is she does have a filmography that has these very clear shining lights in it, and then there is a lot of stuff that's less. Although I haven't seen. Did you watch Jackie in preparation for this?
No, I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, I feel a bit like about Jackie.
I'm sure she's great in it, and that's the thing. I was gonna do an Andrew Garfield on Natalie Portman, and then I was like, I'm sure she's great in it, but I cannot watch another film that is just not very happy.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I felt about Breathe. And also, I haven't seen Jackie. But V for Vendetta, what do you think of that movie?
Oh, it's so good. It's such a good film.
What's it about?
What is it about? We're in a distant future in London, in United Kingdom, and Natalie Portman plays Evie Hammond, and who's just pretty normal. And the United Kingdom is under this like fascist party, Norse Fire. And she starts. She works for a television network, and she starts assisting.
Sure.
This freedom fighter called that goes under the V.
V. It's basically it takes the Guy Fawkes story and turns it into a dystopian fairy tale almost.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's amazing. It's an amazing film.
Exceptionally good. Hugo Weaving is so very wonderful in it.
Yeah.
You never see his face, but his voice performance as V is just brilliant. But Natalie Portman, do you remember how excited everyone was back in 2005 that Natalie Portman shaves her hair off in that one scene?
Yeah.
And she actually did it. Oh my God, she actually shaved off her.
God.
Oh my God. Imagine doing that. Imagine shaving your head.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
And she's great in it, and I love her in this film, and
it's great. It's really good, and she just sort of she's a great audience surrogate, because I guess it's through her eyes that you learn about the world, and you learn about V in particular, and his journey and his story and things are all done through Natalie Portman's character's eyes. And there's some really great sequences, like where again, it's a while since I've seen it, but is there that sequence where she thinks she's been captured, but it turns out it was V all along, and she ends up being, she goes on this journey from being a news reporter lady who's part of the real world to being a sort of freedom fighter / terrorist, depending on your point of view. Yeah.
Terrorista. Yeah, great choice.
Yeah, my number 2 as well. So if you want, you can go to your number 1.
My number 1 is 1994 film Leon,
Leon.
directed by Luc Besson.
Yes.
I love that film. I love Leon. It's so good. And I like Natalie Portman in it. So, yes.
That's good. It's the first film on your list that you've genuinely liked.
Yeah.
Oh, no, V for
No,
Vendetta.
I like V for Vendetta. And Thor. I like Thor. It's just Black Swan and Black... I liked Annihilation. I just was left with something. And Black Swan, which just annoyed me, but she was great in it, so... What's your number 1?
Black Swan. If you asked me to describe this film in a word, it would probably be visceral, which is why I was confused as to why you wanted it to be more visceral.
I didn't find
I saw it in the cinema when it came out in 2011, and the final 15 to 20 minutes, I was gripping my seat the entire time at how tense I was. And I don't know, I really like this film. I think that all the actors in it are good. And the story of obsession and how it kind of deteriorates her mind, and she never even asks herself if it's what she wants. It seems like it's what her mum wants, and she's just gone along with it her entire life. And as it all starts to fall apart, and the idea of being, I know it's something I see in my own job, people who have this very set idea on what they want their life to be, to the point where you're looking at it and you're thinking, if you don't achieve that, you're not going to be able to handle it.
You're fucked.
But it doesn't mean your life's a failure. Like, there's so many other wonderful things you could do with your life, and I think it's as a lesson in that and a story in that. I really like the film, and I really like, and I like it a lot more than The Wrestler, which is like the film that people say is like the male mirror, because Darren Aronofsky after Black Swan did The Wrestler, which is Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, I didn't particularly like that one either.
No, I'm not a big fan of The Wrestler, but I do like Black Swan.
It was okay. I think Black Swan is better than The Wrestler.
Good, thank you. So do I. And I probably like Annihilation and V for Vendetta more than Black Swan, but I think that Black Swan is Natalie Portman's best performance. Yeah. And I probably like Leon more than Black Swan. No, I think I like Black Swan more than Leon, probably. But yeah, that's my number 1.
Nice. Okay, so top 5. My number 5 is Thor. My number 4, Black Swan. And number 3, Annihilation. And number 2, V for Vendetta. And number 1, Leon. How about you, George?
Okay, so my top 5 was Thor at number 5, Leon, the Professional at number 4, Annihilation at number 3, V for Vendetta at number 2, and Black Swan at number 1.
Great choices.
Do you have any honourable mentions?
Not really. Like, I don't know. So I watched Garden State, which is the Zach Braff kind of directorial writing debut, and it's such a annoying film, but I think she was like a ray of sunshine in the film, so I kudos to her for being able to bring some kind of joy to that film, although it's a film that hasn't aged well at all.
It's very manic pixie dream girl, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was just a bit too much. And I think at the time it was perfect because we were I think it was 2004, so it was just kind of, we're at a time where those things like manicness was part of our lives. But now I just found that film so...
And it was also a time when it was okay for there to be a movie about how sad a white man is in his quite
a very white privileged man that comes from a very rich family.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It was just like, man, but she was very good in it. And then I also watched No Strings Attached.
I haven't seen
I watched that knowing that I wasn't going to enjoy it, just because I always found it fascinating that 2 films about like casual sex came out pretty much at the same time, which were No Strings Attached with Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher. and then Friends with Benefits with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. And I really enjoyed Friends with Benefits. I think it's really fun. No Strings Attached is okay. It's just really badly written and but Natalie Portman again, she's an amazing part of the film. So it was just not very well done film. It was just a bit like haphazard. Let's do this and that and let's make it fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's great in those two films, even if they're not very good films. And they both start with funerals, which is bizarre. You have to start a film with a funeral.
You do?
Yeah. Have you got any honourable mentions?
I've got a couple. First up, I've got a film that's not very good, but she is doing her absolute goddamn best in it to try and make it work, and that needs to be recognised, and that is Star Wars.
Ah, yeah, true. She's trying her best.
The three Star Wars movies, she admirably tried to give a good performance in.
When she speaks like that in a monotone voice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
presumably because George Lucas insisted that she did.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor Natalie Portman. And a film that is a masterpiece, but she's not really in it enough to have much of an opinion on. But Heat, the Michael Mann movie with Pacino and De Niro as competing policemen and robbers that are hunting each other. Natalie Portman plays Al Pacino's daughter in it and is very good, but isn't in it that much. But
Nice.
It's good to see her. Yeah. Any recommendations that people should check out from your Culture Catch-Up?
From this week, I definitely would recommend the two albums that I've spoken about, and one of it's Pompeii by Kate Le Bon, and Painless by Niloufer Yanya. Two great albums that need to be listened to.
I agree with that. Good. I'm going to recommend two tough watches for different reasons. Nitram, which is one of the most arduous movies I've ever had to watch. Arduous is probably not the right word. Just challenging, difficult to sit through, but should be seen by everyone. And Dashcam, which is just a great. I love it. I just love it so much. So Nitram and Dashcam, people should check out. And that's our big return. That's episode 77. Yeah, top 5 Natalie Portman movies. Go and watch Thor, Love and Thunder. Then tell everyone about our podcast and review it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and anywhere else you can review it. And tell your friends about us, and that'd be great. And we'll see you again in the future. We'd love to hear from you, so you can find our contact information, all our social media channels and email addresses are in the show notes for this and every episode, along with a list of everything we've talked about in Culture Catch-Up and the videos we watched in MyTube, if you'd like to go and look those up. So do go and read the show notes for all of that, and let us know what you think of anything. Yeah.
And remember, we're not doing it weekly.
Yes.
Just for the summer, we're going to go bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
No. Is it bi-weekly?
Fortnightly.
No. Fortnightly.
Yeah, but is fortnight a word outside England? I don't think they say fortnight in America.
Oh, once every 2 weeks.
One
every other week.
One episode,
one
yes.
episode.
One episode, no.
An episode, no.
As you said earlier.
Shut up.
Nonsense.
You're nonsense.
1 week, yes. 1 week, no.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Every other week.
I think it's clear now. So if you're listening to this on the 7th of July, you can assume that the next episode will be out on the 21st of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that will be a Stranger Things retrospective. Please.
Woohoo!
Yeah, please come.
It's amazing because I've never enjoyed 80s style, but I think I'm going to go and get some like jean shorts.
Don't do your hair like 11 in season 4 though.
No, I do want to make my hair like... shave it?
No, that bowl cut thing, mullet thing she's got
God.
at the start.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
But Will's hair in season 4 is incredible. George!
Will?
No, Mike's.
Oh, Mike.
Mike's.
I mean, Mike's got a big bushy thing.
Mike's
Will's
hair
hair
in
is
season
awful.
4. Terrible. That's a bowl cut. No, Mike's hair is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Lucas has got pretty great 80s flat top in season 4.
So good.
Yeah. And Dustin is just a breath of fresh air with his thinking cap.
Oh, Dustin.
Yeah,
Love him.
yeah, I love him as well. He's very good.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It's been wonderful to be back and speak
Yeah,
to you again.
definitely.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.